guys, and welcome to the video. This is going to be all about rest days, so what I get up to when I'm not training and why I do it. I am at the beach with my boy Gav. We're just hitting some active recovery. There actually is some pretty solid research to show that during rest days, when you're trying to enhance your recovery, it's actually improved when you're being mobile and doing a bit of light intensity exercise as opposed to just slumming it, being a slob or a couch potato. So we've hit around 30 minutes of walking just on the sand, just talking shit. And now we're going to do 10 around 100 meter just jogs, just to get the heart rate up a little bit, to get some blood flowing, and to encourage some of that removal of waste products and to sort of get the recovery process kicked into gear. But it's going to be a fun video. It's going to be a different video, so follow along. Hope you enjoy it. Recovery session is a wrap. Finished off with a nice swim, which felt amazing. Meal one, breakfast going down at our trusty Monty's. I've got 2 eggs scrambled, 2 fried eggs on 2 pieces of sourdough toast with a side of chicken breast and mushrooms, and then I got my usual coffee. So breakfast looks a little bit different to my usual breakfast on training days. My whole diet on rest days has actually changed up a whole lot. And I am going to discuss all the differences for my rest day eating and why I'm doing that. But for now, just going to dig into this, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Right, so on rest days, obviously, because I have a bit more time, I like to prep up a bunch of my food. So doing my beef now, I do 2 of the lean cuts and then 1 of the regular. I think this might be the regular, basically because I just want a bit of fat, but not too much fat. So I just whack that straight in the pan over here. I much prefer cooking my beef like this, because if you're going to do steaks, you sort of have to cook each one at a time, and it just takes a fucking much longer time to get the beef, especially if you're like me and having sort of a couple of 100 grams of beef every day. And then for my leaner stuff, I'm just doing my chicken in the air fryer as usual. So we just chuck those titties straight in. Sauce of choice for today is the Korean spicy chicken sauce. So I don't track this. Most of it comes off in the heating process anyway, but I'll just squirt a bunch on. I keep it relatively consistent each time anyway. Grab a fork or a spoon and just sort of cover it. Then I just whack these bad boys into the air fryer. I do it on 190 degrees. I do for 22 minutes and then take it out, flip it over and do for another 22 minutes, and then it is good to go. Alrighty, so finished product with the beef, cook nice and well through. Then I'll just serve that up straight into a container, and I'll just refrigerate this, and I'll just take the portions from it as I need. This will probably keep me good for like 4 days worth of beef, which is pretty decent. The chicken's still got a bit to go, but it's time for meal 2 now, so we're going to serve that up, we'll chat about it, and then see you next week. Alrighty, so meal 2 Going down, I've got 200 grams of the beef that I just prepared then with about a tablespoon of kimchi. This is my favorite kimchi. I think it just tastes the most authentic. If you truly want Korean style kimchi, hit your local Asian grocer and you should be able to find it. Then for carbs, I've got 5 of these grain rice bars. These are Asian as well, so they're Korean, so you're not going to find them in your Coles and your Woolies, but you will find them in your Asian grocers. Each bar has 10 grams of carbs in it, so 50 grams of carbs for this meal, so roughly half the carbs that I'll normally have in my normal meal on a training day. Then on top of that, just got a Pepsi Max vanilla. Gonna whack on a bit of salt on the beef, and that will do me. In the next clip, once I get this down, we are gonna chat about all the differences I am doing in terms of my rest day eating versus training day, and why I'm doing all those things. So stay tuned for that one. So was just getting the chicken out of the air fryer, and turns out we had a little extra protein than we bargained for. There we have an extra crispy air fried cockroach in there. Now, most people would say that the chicken's ruined and we're gonna throw it out and make another batch, but I don't like meal prepping at the best of times, so we're still eating this. So we've got some chicken breast here with a hint of a little bit of cockroach. Not sure if it's gonna change the flavor profile, but might give us a little, maybe, who knows, maybe cockroaches are anabolic. So there we have it, 5 days worth of grilled chicken or air fried chicken with a hint of crispy cockroach flavor. Chuck this in the fridge and this will be ready for meal 3 in a bit. Okay, so gonna chat a little bit about food on rest days. So changing my diet on training and rest days is something I've never really done. And people seem to think that because you're not training on a certain day that you need way less carbs and calories. But we need to keep in mind that a training session takes 24 to 36 hours to recover from. So on rest days, you're still recovering from the workout you did the day prior, and you need carbs and calories to do that properly. With that said, energy expenditure, or the calories you burn, going to be around 500 less on your rest days, depending on how hard and how long you train for. So there could be sorry, my dog is smacking her food bowl because she's hungry. You're on a cut. You're not getting any more food. All right, I'll go get it.
I can do it. Let's go to the table.
Yeah. He's just looking at us. Sorry for that interruption. The dog is now staring at us with evil eyes and growling. So, as I said, on days... Attempt 3 going down. The dog has been fed, so hopefully there'll be no background growling and smacking of bowls. So as I was saying, on days that we're not training, we're going to burn somewhere around 400 to 500 calories less. So with that in mind, there could be some slight body composition advantages to reducing calories a little bit on these rest days. During rest days, you're also not doing high intensity efforts. So you're going to be relying on carbohydrates less as a fuel source when you're not training. So with that in mind, on my rest days, I am going to reduce calories by around 500. I'm reducing my carbohydrate intake as well, and I'm actually increasing my fat intake a little bit. In addition to the reason of relying on less calories and carbohydrates during rest days, I think there are also benefits to improving metabolic flexibility, which basically means your body's ability to oxidize fats and carbohydrates for fuel and to switch between the two. And this only happens when you're consuming both carbohydrates and fats in your diet. So because my training days are so low fat, I think there could be at least a slight metabolic advantage to upping my fats on rest days, which is what I'm going to do. Secondly, by having a different sort of diet setup on rest days, it breaks up the monotony and the repetition of the diet. I'm having super low fat protein sources like egg whites and chicken breasts 5 days a week. And man, is it nice to have whole eggs, salmon and almond butter on rest days. I actually look forward to the rest day diet because it's involving eating foods that I haven't had during the rest of the week. So I think changing up the diet on rest days could actually have an adherence advantage for some people, especially for me. My adherence is never an issue, but I know that it refreshes me mentally and it gets me sort of ready to roll into the low-fat diet again. Does everyone need to change their diet on rest days? I think hell no. I mean, I've never changed my diet between training and rest days since I've started lifting. And I think I've made at least a little bit of progress since when I started. But as discussed, I think there could be some small advantages to changing up the diet in this way. Maybe a couple of extra percent, which during this phase, where I'm looking for every little edge possible, I'm going to take it. Right, we got meal 3 on wheels happening, on no better than a dirty bin. So I've got 200 grams of chicken in there with a little bit of pickled ginger, and then I've got another, supposed to be 5, so I'm only having 5. Oh, there's 11 in a bag. Who knew? So I'm having 5 of the grain rice bars as well. So we're just getting this down at the front of the physio, and then we're going to go in for our treatment session. Man, I'm going to look bloated after this meal. I'm going to have to take my shirt off in the next clip. You can Photoshop me, right? Right, so yeah, we've smashed this meal, and then we're going to head into the physio for our treatment session. That's something I've just started doing on rest days only recently. As I discussed in my last video, as I'm putting on more size, really pushing myself in the gym, pushing food, just want to make sure, number one, that I'm injury free. Like a lot of people go to physios when they get injured. I'd ideally like to sort of catch that before it happens, and then secondly, just to stay sort of mobile and functional while I am adding that new size. So I'm going to chug this down in a couple of minutes, and then we'll see you inside for the treatment.
Basically working on the hyperactivity in muscle fibers, so the taut muscle bands, or if there's trigger points. And the trigger points can be caused when there's basically a hyper release of like acetylcholine from a motor unit, and we get an overactive point when you get that kind of knot feeling or like a golf ball type feeling in your muscle. And these can cause either pain at the site or a referral into different parts of the muscle, different parts of the body away from the site. And basically it works by either eliciting like a local twitch response in which the muscle kind of contracts and then relaxes, and this can change the chemical environment around the trigger point. It also kind of acts like an on and off switch, like the muscle's contracted, so then we make it contract, relax really quickly, and hopefully it stays off. But you also get a release of different chemicals around the site that help with an inflammatory healing response. Some people respond really quickly to dry needling, some people not so much. It was Jackson's first time having needling last time, but we got a pretty good response following the kind of 12 to 24 hour down period. So going to keep up with this technique.
Treatment session with Liv down at Trained Physio is a wrap. We just knocked out an hour, a lot of deep tissue work, some dry needling, and then some mobility exercises that you would have seen at the end. Just trying to really like open up some of my tension that I have around my chest and my shoulder areas, which is restricting my range of motion on some movements and causing a little bit of pain on my left side, which we're trying to deal with that. But only my second week doing the treatments. I do feel like they're valuable, obviously a little bit too early to tell, but I'm going to stick with it. It's certainly not going to hurt, and I'm going to keep with it for the remainder sort of 10 weeks of this game phase at least. And if I keep liking the results, the progress, then I'll stick with it. So that is us for a wrap. Keep following on for the video. I'm going to take you through the rest of my meals and what I get up to the rest of the day. Peace. What's up, guys? It is time for a meal 4. It's around 4:30. I've just been knocking away at some work. Go on, jump. She's been mighty annoying in this episode. Go. Anyway, just been knocking out some work, and we have the meal prepared. Show you what we have. So we've got, that focuses, 60 grams of whey mixed into 60 grams of dry measure oats. So much less oats than I'd usually have on a training day, which is okay because it is going with our plan of less carbs and calories on these days. But the bonus is a little extra almond butter for healthy fats mixed in there. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm kind of hungry on rest day, surprisingly. Also wanted to show you guys my new training program. I've talked about it a fair bit in past videos, but I just dropped it today, and I'll make sure that I put the link in the description box to this video. But I've been super excited to get this one out for a while. Been riding it, adjusting it, tweaking it, making sure that it's completely badass. So if you are keen to join in with the anabolic pursuits to Goku status, then hit the link and join in. We've already got a team of I just checked the sales just then. In the first few hours we've already had 55 purchases, so we're gonna have a badass team following this program. So I'm excited for us to all get after it. So I still got some more work to do. Gonna have this meal, and then probably next time I'll catch you will be for meal 5. I'm heading over to my mate Paulie's house for anime night. We are knee deep in Attack on Titan, season 2 now, I think. Yes, we are behind, but we're catching up. See you guys next video. Okay, so one of the reasons I love Wednesdays is because there's no training, but a big reason is because it is anime night at the Vu household. We actually rent out a hotel room for tonight, as you can see. I'm just talking shit, his pad is just dope. So we are smashing Attack on Titan. We're both hooked on it. It's starting to get real good. We've probably got like 4 episodes left till we finish the season. Please don't fucking roast us because we're not up to date. We're late to the party, but we're coming. So we've got meal 5 in the bag here. 200 grams of salmon with 300 grams of rice and a bit of teriyaki sauce. This is going to taste like the tits to me because I've been low-fat diet on my training days. So enough blabber. We're going to eat, relax, and smash out some episodes. I'll catch you guys in the final clip. I'm shutting down the video for the night. It's around 11:15. We smashed out some Attack on Titan, finishing up season 1, and man, that shit is badass. We are hooked, line and sinker, and we'll be well and truly hitting into season 2 next week. But that last meal that you saw me having just now, that was just 500 grams of cottage cheese, 100 grams of raspberries, and 25 grams of almond butter. So a pretty small meal to finish off the rest day of eating. Hope you guys got at least something from the video. It was a little bit of a different one, but it was cool, at least for me to show some of that stuff. As a side note, today we hit 4,000 public watch hours on the channel, which was pretty important to me because it's where the channel can actually start being monetized from YouTube. Actually feels like we do have a channel now. So I am extraordinarily grateful to everyone that has supported the channel so far and has allowed it to sort of grow to this stage, which is still only early days, but I'm motivated and I love the support we get around the channel. So let's keep at it and take this channel to as big as we can do it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something. I'll catch you with the next one. Peace.